We are coming to you from US Cellular Field, where tonight WGN Sports on the U presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, Omar Vizquel and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Joe Mauer, Mike Kadire, Jason Kubel, and the Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this three-game set. As you know, in the opener last night, it was not good. It started off pretty good. We had our chances, didn't put many on the board, but still, we had the lead going to the seventh inning, and that's all you can ask for, especially in a big series like this. The bullpen did not do the job. They scored 2 in the seventh, 5 in the eighth. They won it 9-3. So the Sox now 7 games back and got to even up this series tonight with Gavin Floyd.
Gavin Floyd goes to the mound at 10-12 this year, but he's had some trouble with this team lifetime. In fact, against the Twins, he's 4-7, his ERA up close to 5. And for a while, he was the hottest pitcher in all the major league. But the last probably 5 or 6 starts, he's been in and out. We need him to be in tonight because Brian Dunson is going to the mound for Minnesota. He's 8-2 and 3-0 lifetime against the Sox. Now, his ERA this year is 2.02. This is a tough left-hander with a very good straight change. So 2 critical games left against Minnesota. We win them both. We're 5 back. And this becomes the one we have to take first.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way. Store, drive them all. Focus to Fusion to F-150. There's a Ford for you.
Chicago White Sox baseball on WGN-TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Million. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is worth $54 million. Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader. So let's see how Ron Gardner is going to line them up tonight for the first place Minnesota Twins. Span leading it off with Hudson hitting second, then it's Mauer, Kubel, Kadire, Thome the DH, with Young, Valencia, and Hardy rounding it out. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Gavin Floyd left to right, Pierre, Rios, and Quinton in the infield with Skell, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. A.J. Przinsky behind the plate, and Gavin Floyd on the hill. He's looking for his 11th win, his ERA a touch below 4. This is his 30th start of the year. And for him, it starts with Denard Span, who is one of their key speed threats. You retire him, you might have a pretty good first inning. And the umpires in the game tonight, Chris Guccione behind the plate, Jerry Crawford at first, Phil Cuzzi at second, and Brian Honora is at third. So we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN on the U. Sox have got to have this one as Denard Span will lead it off. He was 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs last night. Takes first pitch strike from our 27-year-old right-hander Gavin Floyd. Gavin 6'6", 235 pounds. Span has handled him well, though. He's hitting .500 against him. And then a little less than .500 as there's a little slow chopper. Beckham's got him, 1 out. Twins come in at 86 and 58. They're hitting .276 as a club with a .377 team ERA.
Orlando Hudson, a switch hitter. Been a better hitter from the left side, more power from the right side.
He's hitting .275. 0 for 5 last evening. Hudson 4 for 12 with a homer lifetime off Gavin. Twins come in at 38 and 35 on the road, where their home record is really good, 48 and 23. That's out of play. Gavin 0 and 3 this season against the Twinkies. Outfield shading Hudson to the left. Gap out there in right center. Good strike on the inside corner. And here at beautiful USA Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps and 400 straightaway center. That curveball low. So 2-2 with Joe Mauer on deck.
It'll be one of the keys for Gavin Floyd is how quickly that curveball will come to him. If it comes to him early, he'll have a good game.
He gone. 2 down.
AJ called a sinker. And Gavin got the benefit of the call.
So here's Mauer hitting at 326, 8 homers. He's driven in 71. He was 3 for 5 last night. Mauer 12 for 34 lifetime off Gavin with a couple of homers. Takes first pitch strike. And what new? Just muscles it out there, fisted out there in the center field. So the 2-out single.
Great hitters hit those line drives, and they just seem to fall right in front of the outfield. This is a fastball. Tries to throw it by him inside and up. Doesn't get it quite inside enough. Mauer continues to do what he's done since he came into this league. Torments pitchers.
So here's Kubel, the cleanup hitter for the right fielder. Kubel was 1 for 5 last night. And fouls that one back. Mauer this season comes into the night hitting at .435 against us. 62 at bats.
That's pretty good.
His career is a .321 hitter against us. There's a curveball strike and count 1-2. Sox, if you missed that game last night, we're leading going into the 7th inning. That's what you want. You want to have that lead going to the 7th. But our bullpen just could not get it done. And that pitch, souvenir left side.
Johnny Danks had a 2-hitter through 4 innings and was throwing the ball very well, keeping the changeup down. And he got one up to Delman Young, and he hit a home run leading off the 5th inning, and they scored 2 that inning. But he threw well enough to probably come away with a win, just didn't happen.
And that pitch is popped up. Omar taking charge. Makes the catch. That'll retire the side. Nothing across. There was a base hit by Mauer. 1 left. After half inning of play, it's Minnesota 0, and the good guys coming to bat.
Be Pierre leading off, then Ramirez, Rios, Bo Konerko has been red hot. Manny Ramirez, the DH, Quentin, Brzezinski, Vizquel, and Beckham. And the defense behind Dunsing. Left to right, Young, Span, and Kubel. In the infield, Valencia, Hardy, Hudson, and Kadire. Joe Mauer behind the plate. And Brian Dunsing on the hill. He's 8-2 this year. It's been a spectacular year for him. ERA 2.02, this just his 10th start. He did work out of the bullpen for a bit, and then got an opportunity to wend his way into the rotation. Had 40 appearances out of the pen.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Juan Pierre will lead it off. One comes in at 272. 1 for 5 last evening. Sox stand at 79-65, 14 games over, hitting at 269 as a club with a 4.03 team ERA. Fakes the bunt, takes a strike to even the count at 1.
Dunsing has a fastball in the 91-92 range, has a very good straight change. Throws kind of a slurve to go with it, and is usually around the plate.
There's the strike. One and two to Pierre. Left-handers have just been eaten alive by Dunsing this year, so that's out number 1.
Well, he sweeps this breaking ball well away from Pierre. A hard-breaking slider. Lauer picks it out of the dirt and then essentially runs out to get a real good angle to throw to first base.
Now left-handers are hitting just 134 against him. Right-handers are hitting 283. So here's Alexei. Takes it right there. Alexei comes in at 282, 16 homers, 62 knocked in.
We've got 7 guys in this lineup going to swing the bat from the right side.
Watch out. And the count 1-2.
I'm seeing another product of this very productive Twin system. Drafted in the 3rd round, 2005. 5'11", 205 pounds.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Outfield, for the most part, straight up. Bit of a gap out there in left center, and they are spread out. Close pitch and a full count. And there's a little pop up into short right field. Hudson goes back, makes the call, has the ball, and that is out number 2. So with 2 out, let's check out our Dodge picks to play tonight. Jumanji, our director and crew, went with Manny. Stone Ponies going with Carlos Quentin in the magnificent 7-9. All the guys down in the ticket office, the Bertucci boys. We're going to go with Alexei Ramirez. And for more information on the entire vehicle lineup, log on to Dodge.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Dodge dealer.
That time Hudson went back, and he's already been in a couple of collisions going back, so it's a little difficult for him, but he called for it, and Kubel gave way.
Softly hit to Hardy. That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. And after 1, no score. First pitch strike to the first baseman, Mike Kadire. Kadire comes in hitting at 272, 12 homers. He's driven in 72. Michael was 1 for 5 last evening as that breaking ball misses down, and the count evens at 1. Huge gap out there in left center. Fifth inning down in St. Pete. Yankees leading the Rays 1-0. Bottom of the third at the Great American Ballpark. Cincinnati was leading the D-backs 5-0. It is now 5-3. And that's into the seats. Count hangs at 1-2. Top of the fourth down in Florida. 6-1 Phillies. Just did get a piece of it.
Tried to heat him upstairs inside. It's a good time to throw that good hard slider away. It's probably a better pitch to Cuddyer than the curveball is. See what AJ wants and where he wants it.
High and deep to left field. Stay in here. It will. Right in front of Harold Baines. Makes the catch.
The wind batted that ball down because Cuddyer got a hanger. We get a break. The wind's very much a factor. And take a look at this. AJ wants it away, and take a look at where this ball hangs up.
Boy, that was the epitome of a cookie. Yeah. Jim Thome takes a breaking ball strike. Jim hitting at .278, 23 homers, and 54 driven in. He was 1 for 3 last evening. One and one to count.
With nobody on, they have the full shift on him. With Gordon back on the grass, you see Alexi playing essentially a second baseman up the middle.
And that's out of play. And a reminder, you can join our White Sox mobile group to receive exclusive offers and chances to win great prizes like autographed jerseys and baseballs. Just text Sox to Shy Sox. That's 244-769 to enter to win an autographed Mark Burley jersey. Standard text and data rates apply. Visit whitesox.com for information. High and wide, 2-2.
Jim Thome's been red hot lately.
Good pitch, didn't get it.
Kevin cuts this one. AJ tried to pull it back and get the benefit of the call.
And the payoff pitch. He gone. 2 down.
Right on the pitch before, and this time gets it done. It's a slider low and in. Thome over the top. Second strikeout victim.
So here's Young hitting at .298, 17 homers and 99 driven in. And that pitch inside. Going back in there. Bites it off. And that's going to be in the seats.
Delmon Young having a big year, probably going to have his best year, and both home runs and runs batted in.
Breaking ball. A pretty good pitch to hit right there. He may have been looking for something else. And the 1-2.
Ron Gardner looking on.
He's a keeper.
His team has just played great. Best record in baseball after the All-Star break.
And that fastball fouled out. third best record in the major leagues. Ate him up. Lexing. And it'll do it a 1-2-3 inning after an inning and a half. No score. In that last at bat, he had the little payback coming to him, but right here you got to think about winning the game. But two things about pitching: you got to make them move their eyes, and you got to make them move their feet.
It turned out to be a pretty good at bat because he ended it by jamming him.
Ate him up. Yeah, you pitchers, you aspiring pitchers, you got to make them move their eyes. That means in and out, up and down, move the ball around. And you got to make them move their feet. Look at this, right hold by to Dyer. Just serves it right there. But Kubel, I'll tell you, Kubel against us has been outstanding in right field.
Kubel used to be one of the faster guys in their organization until he had a knee problem at the end of the 2004 season. Then he had surgery and lost the entire 2005 season. So Paulie goes the other way, right by Kadire. Normally you think about this as a two-base hit. Kubel got to it very quickly and got it back in.
And he's been throwing well against us with good velocity and accuracy. So here's Manny. Manny 0 for 3 last night. Ball tails off the plate. Short lead by Paul. And Manny has a catbird seat. Or I should say maybe the barber chair. 2-0. He was all over it, just underneath him. He's had some good pitches to hit.
Well, 2-0, you're looking fastball. He got the fastball. Unfortunately, called it straight back.
Normally on those 2-0-3-1 counts in the past, he just murdered people. Just killed the baseball. And the count 3-1. Carlos Quentin on deck. And that's out of play right side.
Well, if Ozzie thinks that Matty's going to make contact, he will run with Paul. Trying to stay out of the double play. Let's see what he does. He is not running on the 3-1 pitch.
So the outfield plays deep, especially span and center. And that's ball 4, so the first 2 men aboard.
Ozzie and Joey are having a laugh in the dugout because Paul was going back to first. He thought that that was a pickoff play. Dunsing went home with it.
So here's Quentin. Breaking ball strike. Carlos hitting at 236, 24 homers. He's driven in 82. Lifetime against Dunsing. 9 at bats, 5 hits, 3 of which stayed in the park. And very quickly the count 0-2. So Carlos, the last few weeks, has been 0-2, 1-2 most of the time.
When you're struggling, it seems like you walk up there at 0-2.
Played 9 years. It's not a good field. You get guys like the Big Hurt. He goes up there. He's 2-0, 3-1. One out.
It's a time when a pitcher can throw the ball just off the corner, and because you're 0-2, you got to protect. That was a backdoor breaking ball. No contact.
So here's AJ. AJ at 265, 7 homers, 52 driven in. AJ 1 for 9 lifetime off Dunsing. And there's a base hit. Paulie's going to be held at third. So that'll load him up.
AJ took this fastball with an inside-out swing, took it the other way, hit it by Valencia, but hit it so hard that Young was able to get to it. No caught by Jeff Cox to trying to score with Paul Konerko. This is a situation we had a couple of times last night. Didn't do a whole lot of damage.
Well, we had bases loaded, 1 out, couldn't do anything with it. Had the bases loaded, nobody out, and we scored 1. That's way high and wide to Omar. Omar hitting at 287. He was 1 for 4 last evening. Beckham on deck. Late call, and the count evens at 1.
Dunsing throws a couple of speeds at the breaking ball.
That ball never came back.
I think he caught a break. Chris Puccione.
Never came back. That's a big call. Right here's a big pitch. One and 2 the count.
Pretty good numbers with the bases loaded for Vizquel, who is a better hitter from the left side than the right.
And that's low, 2 and 2. And a full count.
Gordon Beckham waiting for his turn, preferably with the Sox on top.
Sox packed, 1 out, and the payoff pitch. They're going to come to the plate, get the force, and that's out number 2. So it's up to Beckham.
Valencia got an awkward hop, and normally you think about going second to first. But with that hop, he decided to come home with it. It's not a great throw, but it's good enough. Now it's up to Gordon Beckham.
Well, we have got to get, obviously, in the last, counting this one, 18 games of the season, very hot. And here's one of the guys that we got to get going. Jacks it up, takes ball 1.
One place that Dunsing is not getting the calls tonight is inside. He keeps going in there. It's going to be a long night. And Gordon, for his very young career, has done a good job in these situations.
Sort of served that one down there, so the count evens at 1. Ramirez at third, Pierzynski at second, and Vizquel at first.
Somebody chopped right off his foot. With Gordon in a hole.
1 and 2. With 2 out. Sox packed with Sox. Dunsing, 27-year-old southpaw out of Omaha, backs off, looks in at Mauer. All Sox fans know Mauer will take his time. And here's a 1-2 pitch. 2 and 2. Come on, Gordon. Right back through the middle, buddy. Not too much. Don't try to do too much. And that's out of play right side. That will be in the LG Skyline Club seats.
That was the best fastball Dunsing has thrown tonight. Now, of course, Mauer wants to go out after a good fastball and have a word with him.
Over and under tonight, we set at 10. That's a lot of trips for a catcher to make.
Well, he didn't go out in the first inning because it was 1-2-3. So he's gotten off to a slow start, but I think things are going to pick up for him.
And once again, the 2-2. It's full. Regardless, this will be the 36th pitch thrown by Dunsing. Two out, payoff pitch. And that's fouled back, and that's going to be in the seats.
There's a pitching coach, Rick Anderson. He's seen his young left-hander a whole lot of pitches so far, and he's not through the second. Also, he's had to make now 3 3-2 pitches with the bases loaded.
And that's fouled back.
That's 2. Okay. Battling at that for Gordon Beckham, who's going to look at his 9th pitch.
And the payoff. And that's popped. Can of corn. So we get the bases loaded with 1 out. Can't do anything with it again. We're getting used to that. Meanwhile, we're into the 3rd, no score. Valencia, Hardy, then back to the top of the order with Span. His first pitch strike.
Valencia having a big year, and this is his first year in the major leagues. .299 minor league hitter, hitting better in the big leagues than he did in the minor leagues.
And to count 2-1.
He's fit right into this Twin team, and the fact that he's only made 3 errors, and this is 68th game.
That's foul back, and that's going to be a souvenir. Gavin with a 2-2 pitch. Ball hammered.
Gavin hung a breaking ball, and Valencia made him pay. So far, Gavin has hung a couple of breaking balls inside. He got away with one to Kadire.
He's gotten underneath a lot of them.
Yep. That one just spun right over the middle of the plate. Valencia waited back and drove it right by Vizquel.
So here's Hardy. He was 2 for 4 last night, but he swung the bat extremely well. Takes first pitch strike.
At one point, these Twins had both Hardy and Hudson out with wrist injuries. They're both back and healthy at the right time for Minnesota.
Pitch just does miss, so the count 1-1.
Things going well for J.J. Hardy lately.
And there's a base hit. So the Twins get the first 2 men aboard, as we did last inning.
This man has 8 sacrifices this year. He's also been very tough career-wise against Gavin Floyd. We'll see what Ron Gardner has in mind. Omar, for one, thinks he's going to bunt because he's way in on the grass at third.
Span grounded out to Beckham. Nobody at third.
That time, unfortunately, Omar didn't read it real well because AJ took a step and a half and got to the ball. So the sacrifice completed. Now Gavin in a jam.
Hudson struck out, called out on a fastball. That's a tough play for Omar. He's charging, looking for the bunt. Anytime third baseman's looking for the bunt, man on first and second situation, he comes in right there. Awful tough to get back. That's top foul. And the count 1-1.
Gavin needs a strikeout. Runners in scoring position. Orlando Hudson has not had a particularly good year. The infield is back. Ozzie is going to concede the run to try to stay out of the big inning.
A little too high. And that's out of play. And a reminder, you can enjoy a beautiful day at a beautiful ballpark here at U.S. Cellular Field with your family and friends. Individual tickets for the White Sox 2010 season are still on sale. So for tickets, visit whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME. And once again, the 2-2 delivery. You got Mauer on deck.
Yeah, if Gavin can take down Hudson, keep first base open, you can put Mauer at first.
He gone big. Punch out for 4. 2 down.
Big out on a good sinker. And it looks like they're going to put him on first base.
So that will load him up for Kubel. Three-time batting champion. This is one of those that you could have bet the house. We had one. The car.
Yeah, they were going to put him on now. It's not that Kubel is a real easy out, because he's not, and he's had some luck against Gavin, but you got to take your chances.
He fouled out to Omar. And there is a changeup strike. He'll be hitting .333 lifetime off Gavin. Backs it up with a fastball. And the count 1-1.
We're with the bases loaded. Those are very impressive numbers.
That's some high heat right there, and the count 1-2. Just got a piece of it.
Well, AJ wanted a high fastball. He got that one down a little lower than he wanted. Kubel still couldn't handle it. See where AJ puts the glove. He wants it up there and out of the zone.
A little too high. This is a pitch you want to take him on right here, the 2-2.
Well, you go to 3-2, you take the force out of the equation. Well, you'd certainly love to make it happen. At 2-2 with the bases loaded.
Broken bat. Ate him up. Pitches out of it. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. Goose egg.
Win the American League Eastern Division. A, the Yankees. B, the Rays. Text your response to 97999. Standard text rates apply. You can watch for results later in the game.
And as we speak, Rays leading the Yankees 2-1, bottom of the sixth down in St. Pete. Juan Pierre takes strike one from Brian Dunsing. Juan struck out his first trip. Low breaking pitch, a sweeper. Takes that strike. So now the count 1-2. That's in the whole base hit, so Goodspeed aboard. He has 55, but you got the southpaw out there, Dunsing.
Well, the first time up, Dunsing swept a breaking ball well away from Pierre and took him down on strikes. And this time he tried the same thing. Only Juan saw it the last time up. In full protection mode, it just guides it through the left side.
So here's Alexei. He popped up to Hudson in short right field. Good lead by Pierre.
Hudson has a pretty good move, so Juan, who's a very aggressive base runner, would like to see his best one early.
And that's a can of corn. Watch out. In the right center. Span makes the play for out number one.
Twins have had some problems with collisions in their outfield, and this time Span, who should take command because the center fielder is always the captain, with both guys calling for it, Kubel has got to give way. Once he hears Span or sees him raise his hand, he's got to get out of there, and that was close.
It'll bring up Rios, who grounded softly to J.J. Hardy at shortstop.
Rajay Davis second by a wide margin behind Juan Pierre in American League stolen base rates. Took an extra step lead that time. He doesn't think he's seen the best Dunsing move yet. He's trying to get a big enough lead to force him to use his best.
Alex with a 1-0 count. And totals on the board identical if you're just tuning in. No runs, 3 hits, no errors. Underneath that one to even the count at one.
One is trying hard to get a read on Dunsing and doesn't have one quite yet.
Three finals in National League earlier. Nationals. The Nasty Nats defeated the Braves 4-2 in Atlanta. Milwaukee over the Astros 8-6 in Houston. And the Rockies beat the Padres 9-6 in Denver. Rockies playing some ball.
Troy Tulowitzki has hit everything in sight.
Well, Alfredo they got out there haven't been doing bad either. Gonzalez.
Carlos Gonzalez, MVP candidate, bona fide Triple Crown threat. He's playing for his third team.
There he goes. Got a good jump right there. It was going to be very difficult for Mauer to throw him out.
That time Juan actually got a good read. Went on first move. It's a bit of a slide step. He heard the contact, looked back, and realized he fouled it off.
So 1-2 the count with Konerko on deck. Second of this 3-game set. There he goes again. And he picks up the steal. That's number 56.
Picked a good pitch to run because that ball was in the dirt and nothing that Mauer could do.
Well, there's some guys, base stealers, who are better at picking an off-speed pitch up when they're trying to steal a base than when they got the bat in their hand.
There's a lot of those.
Close, didn't get it, the full count. So the next pitch will be number 49 here with one out in the bottom of the third. All full base hit. Alex Ray. Back to the middle, hits the mound. Hudson's there playing him perfectly.
Well, for some reason, Hudson was looking to throw out Juan Pierre at third base. That would have opened the door to a huge inning.
Yeah.
And normally, you figure you hit the ball back through the middle, it's a base hit. But he was the one charged with holding Pierre. No angle on that throw at all. And a hard hit ball goes for naught.
It hit the mound and popped up perfectly for him. That's what you call a Bolingbrook bounce right there. So now 2 out, Pierre at third, and here's Paulie, who just served the single as now Dunsing made this call. This one goes on his side.
Now I'm putting it on Mauer's sheet. He didn't have to go out there. That's 3 for him.
Got to give us this one to Dunsing. There's these guys never heard of Bob Gibson.
Well, there's some guys, in fact, Greg Maddux would never want any of his catchers to come out. He wanted the ball back and he wanted to throw it.
As Paulie takes strike one, I can't remember the catcher's name. It wasn't McCarver who caught Gibson alive, but it was some catcher who was a rookie that went out, called timeout, went out to Gibson. And they said that Gibby just looked at it, never said a word, just looked at it. That ball hit hard, deep. But the young kid turned around and started walking back to home plate. Gibby hit him right in the back. Not with his good fastball. He just threw it and hit him right in the back. The kid turned around and looked at him and says, Gibby said, shook his finger and said, no more.
Well, that's a subtle way of telling him that you didn't appreciate the visit.
0-2 the count. Come on, Paulie. That sinker down and away.
The pitch before that was something that Liriano did very well last night, and that was get the ball inside off the plate and allow our hitters to hit it as far as they wanted to, but they were just about, without exception, fouled.
Well, Liriano, who picked up the victory last night, now 3-0 against us this year, but that was the best stuff he's had against us in a long time. Oh, checks it up, excuse me, and foul ball right side. He was dealing last night.
He came in with pretty good stuff. Then Greer came on for 2 hits and 2 hitters. And Jesse Crain came out of that pen with about as good a stuff as you can have. That really helped turn the game around.
The 1-2. Got him. So once again we get a man on third base, this time with 2 out. Can't do anything with it. Mike Cuddyer will lead it off for the Twinkies here in the 4th inning. As that fastball fouled away right side. Cuddyer 0 for 1. One out deep to left field. Could not check it up in the count 0-2. Another breaking pitch. Alexei guns it over in time. Throw the lead man down.
2 good curveballs, probably as good as he's thrown tonight to Cuddyer. Broke his bat on the second one.
So here's Thome. Struck out on a slider. Now the shift is on. And there's a shank. Tried the back door and didn't get the call. Texas on a 6-game winning streak, leading the Tigers 4-2. Game in the bottom of the 3rd.
They're about ready to put that division away. 9-game lead over Oakland coming in.
Good pitch, didn't get it. And count 3-1.
There you look at the American League West, and it's all Rangers.
So he walks Thome with one out here in the top of the fourth. And that'll bring up Delmon Young, who grounded out to Alexei.
Thome's on base percentage has been up over 400 all year long. He's coming into this game at 406. We'll improve on that with that walk.
Nice snap. Take your time. There you go. All right. Rack them up, and that'll do it. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. We need some runs.
Turns into a double play as Young hits it right back up the middle. Easy 1-4-3. See what's new from AT&T. Visit www.AT&T.com.
Manny Ramirez will lead it off. Takes ball one outside. Manny walked back in the second inning. That was after Konerko led it off with a single. He had the bases loaded, one out, and could not do anything with it. Another foul back, and the count 1-1.
The changeup that time. His changeup is 85. He has a couple of different speeds on just about all of his pitches.
And there's a ground ball to short, and one out. So that'll bring up Quentin, who struck out back in the second after Konerko had singled and Manny walked. The 1-0 pitch. There's a base hit. And it'll bring up AJ. AJ singled sharply into left field in the hole between third and short. Back on the outside corner.
The guy that's been as tough on left-handers as Dunsing has been all year. Our left-handers to this point, 2 for 3 against him. There's only 2 of them.
That's low in the dirt, and the count evens at 1. First and 30. AJ, let's get something going here with 1 out. Ate him up with a fastball in on the fists. Carlos just a short lead over there first. And the count evens at 2. And there's a chopper base hit. Carlos going to make the turn. Kubel will get it back in. There's the throw, save. So a big hole over there, and AJ took advantage of it.
Fortunately, this one turned out to be slowly hit, but it did get by Hudson. And then Carlos Quint running on the arm of Kubel, who makes a very low throw. It rolls into third, and there was no tag. Carlos in there with runners at the corners and a golden opportunity to score.
And here's Vizquel. Hit into a 5-2 fielder's choice. Let's see what Ozzie wants to do right here. Rack him up. So once again, we have a man at third, less than 2 out. Omar hit it hard, unfortunately, right to Valencia. Meanwhile, no score. months of the 09 season that Virus being the man on third, less than 2 out, don't score him.
Well, unfortunately, that's been the case. But quickly, one pitch went out to Valencia, who got a base hit the first time up. He was the man who got that one-hop rocket and turned it into 2 that took us out of the 4th inning.
Boy, last 2 months of last season, that was unbelievable. Streak we went through. Then on second, third, nobody out, couldn't score. Bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't score. Then on third, nobody out, couldn't score. There's Strikey, who singled back through the middle. That was in the 3rd inning. It's a bad time to catch that virus. A reminder, you can be one of the first 25,000 fans in attendance at each White Sox home game this season to receive a Connie's Pizza game card, now redeemable for a small pizza with the purchase of any large pizza of equal or greater value at participating Connie's Pizza locations. Beckett's got it. And that's out number 2.
Gordon stayed in front of that ball, and it was a one-hop rocket. To stay in front at second base, you're allowed a bobble because you've got some time, and he threw him out. Gavin has been pretty good tonight thus far. He's given up 3 singles, pitched out of a tough jam in the 3rd inning.
So here's Span. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. Now make that 1 for 2. So the man with 22 stolen bases in 26 attempts, the 2-out single.
You'd have to think somewhere in this sequence, Span is going to be going. Jerry White, base running coach, and the first base coach talking to him. AJ looks over in the dugout to see if they might want to pitch out.
He's got a good lead. Slide step, first pitch strike. And now 13 for 26 lifetime off Gavin. And stole 23 bases last year. As I mentioned, he has 26 so far this year. Close.
First time I've seen AJ.
Jerry Crawford getting in perfect position.
First time I've seen AJ do that in a long time. Makes a good solid throw and just misses Span. If he had a better secondary lead, he would have been out. That was a perfect throw to first base.
Well, you see a lot of umpires, not to mention anybody, but you see a lot of umpires on that same play. They will just hold their ground right there on the line where they are. Right there, as you can see. Jerry didn't do that. He didn't hold his ground right there. That's fouled back. Take another look at the pickoff right here. Now watch Crawford. Watch the umpire. As soon as he sees what's going on, he's going to move over, get the angle so he can see. Just can't move anymore. Ball, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 5th.
If you're a base runner with 2 strikes to a guy who's fanned twice, this is a good time to run.
I'd be shocked if he's not off of this pitch.
It's also a good time to call a pitch out.
There he goes. No chance. He's a scooter. He can scoot.
They had a slow curveball outside. Impossible for AJ to throw him out on that one.
So 2 out, 2-2 the count. This is where the Twins have, over the years, especially the last 8 years. Gordon on the move, low throw, can't get him. That'll be an infield hit and put runners at the corners with 2 out for Mauer.
That's a breaking ball that's out of the strike zone, and Hudson hustling down the line. Tough for Gordon to set his feet. He can't get enough on the throw. And Paul does it well because his first responsibility is the baseball. He's not going to be able to get the ball and stay on the bag. He has to come off the bag to get the ball. Make sure that Span stays at third.
So here's Mauer, who has singled and he has walked. That was intentional. Takes that curveball down low. But over the years, since Gardenhire's been there, Tom Kelly the same way, but mostly Gardenhire's won 5 divisional titles in his 8 years at the helm of Minnesota. Trying this year for his 6th and 9. And that's deep. He got a cookie and didn't miss it.
Well, there's been a couple of rolling breaking balls tonight that Gavin got away with, and that was not one of them. Only the 9th home run of the year. Now Mauer has 74 driven in, and so the infield hit comes back to haunt the Sox. And in the absence of Justin Morneau, Joe Mauer has really started to heat it up. There you see a spinning slider, and it's gone.
But Minnesota has done that against us so much. 2 out, nobody on. Get a base hit. Get a little blue hit. In this case, an infield single. And then a 3-run blast. Count hangs at 0-2.
Very similar situation last night. 4 shutout innings. And then a home run, a double, and 2 singles to score 2 runs in the 5th. Tonight is 3 runs in the 5th. It's an unbelievable player you're looking at, folks.
Well, not to take anything away from Mauer right there. There are a lot of left-handed hitters who hit that ball out. He gone. But the 2 out, nobody on. 2 little singles and a 3-run homer by Mauer. Halfway home, trailing 3-0. along some Subway. Just be the 500 texture to text Subway to 97999. So go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules. 3-0 Bad Guys here in the bottom of the fifth. 3-run homer by Joe Mauer as Gordon Beckham takes ball one. Gordon popped up to right field with the bases loaded to end the second inning. And this is almost a blueprint.
It's going to be Repko instead of Kubel in right field. Repko normally comes in the game defensively, but he usually comes in later. So if we get a report on Jason Kubel, we'll let you know.
Here's Juan Pierre. He gets struck out. Single. Picked up his 56th stolen base. And a count 0-2. Down the line by, that's fair. Young, he can throw, safe. Leadoff double. Don't stop now, boys.
This one sliced right down the line. Valencia made a dive for it. It goes in vain as this one sneaks by him. He singled to his left last time. He doubles to his right this time. And that outruns the arm of Young.
So here's Alexei. He's popped to second, gone out to center. One in second, one out. Rios on deck. Tried to pull that sinker right there. And that's what is called an easy little comeback. So 2 down.
Bunting has had 1, 2, 3 innings. That coming in first. Other than that, he's had big problems in the second. Leadoff single, stolen base in the third. 2 on in the fourth, and now a double in the fifth. But so far, no runs.
Well, they've only had one right-handed hitter pull the ball to get a base hit, and that was Quentin in the hole between third and short. Right-handed hitters with the movement this kid's got on his fastball, you try to pull him, you're going to go for it.
And he's got a good changeup to go with it.
You got to approach him the same way that hitters approach Burley. Right-handers beat him to right field. Line drive, and that'll retire the side. Get the 1-out double. We're into the sixth, trailing 3-0. Mike Kadire leads off the top of the 6th inning. 3-6-0 for their guys. 6-0 for our guys. Just turning in a 3-run homer by Joe Mauer. Last inning. 2 out, nobody on. Span single back to the middle. Stole second. Infield hit by Hudson. And then a cookie. Just a spiral slider coming up the home plate. Mauer hit it out of here. Inside.
Got him.
Got him. So, leadoff man aboard. And a reminder, prorated White Sox season ticket plans are still available for the remainder of the season. Fans that purchase the final games will place a deposit and place a deposit towards 2011 will receive the opportunity to purchase 2010 postseason tickets. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. And here's Tomey.
If you're going to get hit, best place to get hit is in the uniform. That one just barely breezed by him.
There's a rocket. So more trouble of brewing. Leadoff hitter. Just nicked by a pitch. New Jersey. And then the bullet single by Tomey.
That one drifted out over the plate, and even though it was up right through the shift, Tomey just hit a rocket. So runners at the corners, nobody out. With the bottom part of the order due up.
Young is grounded to short and hit into a 1-4-3 double play. Looking to pick up his 100th RBI.
Nice stop by AJ. That ball would have gone to the screen.
And the count 2-0. So Young got the catbird seat, runners at the corners. Pretty good spot for a hitter. Chases a bad pitch.
Good pitch by Gavin because he took something off a little cutter. And he had Young all geared up for the fastball. Didn't get it.
Backs that one up with a pretty good heater. So 2-2 the count. Valencia on deck. Gavin right here looking for the strikeout. That's into right field. Quentin. Here comes Kadire's cutoff. He'll score, so the hit by a pitch, and it's crosses home plate is 4-0. RBI number 100 for Young. That's what you get when you don't turn the head of the bat over, trying to get a man in from third base.
Got a fastball away, didn't try to pull it. Avenue shut him out for 4. Had some problems.
Valencia's 1 for 2. Outfield straight up. And there's first pitch strike.
That's the first 100 RBI season for Delmon Young.
One and one to count. Next pitch will be number 93.
It appears the call went down to the bullpen, so we'll have to see who it's going to be.
And that is fair ball, says O'Nora. Like he was going to call it foul, and then changed his mind and called it fair.
Two for three for Valencia as he crushes this ball down the line. Gavin tries to throw a fastball up and in, can't get it there. And a definitive call by O'Nora. Gavin in the jam again, and AJ going out there to spend some time while the bullpen gets going. Looks like Chris Sale in the pen.
I would suggest that we change our
game plan against Valencia.
Yeah, I would think we ought to mix in a breaking ball every now and then.
Just every now and then.
So Ducks on the pond, 1 out. And here's Hardy, who has hit the ball hard twice. He hit the ball hard 3 times last night.
Don Cooper coming out to spend a little more time for Chris Sale to get loose.
And as he does, a reminder, every Friday White Sox home game is United Flyaway Friday. Each Friday home game, one lucky fan will have the chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States that United flies. United proud to fly the White Sox. Twins trying to make it 12 out of 17 this year against our Sox. Left side halfway. Beckham halfway. Play back a little bit more because of Tommy at third. And that hits the bag.
Not much you can do with that. It hits the bag, bounces straight up in the air, and then Omar's just got to wait for gravity. So I would assume that Sale would come in to face Span as Tommy scores. And a run batted in for Hardy. And it's all Twins tonight.
So here comes Oz. Twins 3 runs last inning, 2 runs this inning. Runners at the corners and 1 out. So Gavin Floyd will depart, and we'll be back.
WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect all the game stats and information while you're watching at home. WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com is brought to you by Columbia College of Missouri. On-campus and online classes fit your schedule and your budget. But Chris Sale comes in to face Denard Span. He's got runners at first and third, 2 runs already in, a 5-0 deficit. Kevin Floyd went 5 1/3. Gave up 9 hits, responsible for the 5 in and the 2 runners on.
So here's Span 1 for 2, a single, a stolen base, his 23rd, and a run scored. Five 9-0 for the Twins, 0-6-0 for our Sox. Big sweeper right there. Man turned away from it, and that's a strike. They'll get your attention.
Just when you throw it as hard as he does.
Oh, gets away. Nobody's going. Well, what's really concerning to some hitters is when they have 2 strikes on him, the guy throws that same pitch and then yells, "Look out." Which has happened.
Sure.
Not today, but it has happened a lot in this game. Yes, he did. And the count 1-2.
Another slider. Ryan O'Norris said he went a little too far.
Now time is called. Span trying to get his thoughts together. Little chopper, and that's going to stay fair, and everybody's going to be safe. And it's a 6-0 Minnesota lead.
RBI number 54 for Span. Didn't get much of it. What he got of it stayed fair. And in this ballpark, when a ball goes there, it does not roll foul. Nothing Omar can do with that one except put it in his pocket.
24.
So here's Hudson. He's 1 for 3. Three-run 5th, 3-run 6th so far. Still just 1 out and 2 on. And the count 2-0. Should be. Rack them up. Well, another crooked number goes up on that board. Come on, boys. Strap something on.
Tonight's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the White Sox hit a home run in the 6th inning, Mary will win 100 chances to take home the Powerball jackpot. Tonight's jackpot is worth $94 million.
Start us off right here, Paulie. Let's give him a finish. Paulie 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. Change up. And the 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Manny on deck. There's one. And there's 2.
You get a break on that call.
And the payoff.
His changeup at 85. This is too hard for double clutch. Just the right speed to get out in front of him.
So here's Manny. Manny has walked and grounded to short. Takes a strike. Changeup. 0-2. Good movement on that sinker, down and away. There's a shot right back through the middle. So the 1-out single, and that'll bring up Quentin. At least it's a start.
Tries to throw a changeup, and Manny hits it right back at him.
Carlos has struck out, and he has singled. The ball hit high and deep. Stretch. He goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yeah, the 2-run homer by Carlos Quentin, and it's a 6-2 ball game.
.85 for Carlos Quentin. He's always had good luck against Dunsing. Tonight, no exception. He's 2 for 3. A 4 drive of the game. It's out over the plate and gone.
So here's AJ. He is 2 for 2. Takes ball 1.
And Mary Mazurowski, you get 100 chances to win the Powerball.
And there's a little looper into center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. So A.J. is 3 for 3. Won't stop now, boys.
Bullpen up and going as Dunsing with 3 straight hits. Now with only a 4-run lead.
First and 30.
It's Matt Guerrero throwing in the pen. He came on last night for 2 hitters, gave up 2 singles, and then departed.
And the count 2-0.
Anderson now comes out. So all of a sudden, Dunsing has lost it here in the 6th inning.
Only throwing 91 pitches.
The exact same point as Gavin Floyd was. 5 1/3.
Don't help him out. And the count 3-0. Beckham on deck. There's one. And he'll take another. And there's a full count.
And Harris, a left-hander, has joined Guerrero in the bullpen.
For a base hit. Nope. That'll retire the side. Sox get a pair on the 2-run home by Quentin. We'll go to the 7th, trailing by 4. 2-9-0 for us. Once again, as you're just tuning in, we have had some chances to put some points on the board and just could not do it. So Maurer will lead it off. Maurer is 2 for 2, a single, an intentional walk, and a 3-run homer. Made it a 3-0 game. Coming in the top of the 5th inning. Takes that pitch low and away.
Dunsing's only had 1-2-3 inning, that coming in the first. After that, he's had some trouble in every inning, but he's only yielded 2 runs.
There's a strike and the count 1-1. 2-run home by Carlos Quentin. Of course, with that home run by Quentin, Alex Nelly's family will donate $100 to White Sox charities. For every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season, that is number 163. So $16,300 donated by Alex Nelly's in loving memory of Ursula, and that was a strike, but he didn't get called.
AJ just shaking his head. Very well be at the sharpness of the break. Chris Guccione.
There is a reason that guys make $20 million a year.
They hit it and always find the holes. Here comes Ozzie, and I think that's probably going to be it for Chris. Sergio Santos loosening up.
Repko on deck, and Kadire. Check that. Repko at the plate. Kadire on deck. Sale will depart. And we'll be back.
Now the ERA 2.14 on for the 52nd time. He's had just a great year this year. 49 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 46 in the 3rd innings. He inherits Maurer at first base. Nobody out here in the 7th. He's on in relief of Chris Sale, who came on in relief of Gavin Floyd, who went 5 1/3 tonight.
So here's Repko making his first plate appearance. Jason Kubel left because of a sore left wrist. Outfield straight up, spread out. 6-11-0 for them, 2-9-0 for us. We're in game 2 of this 3-game set. Twins won last night 9-3. We missed that one. We had the lead going to the 7th inning. Repko looking for it, got it all over it, just underneath it. One and one to count to Repko. Top of the ninth down in St. Pete. Tampa Bay leading the Yankees 4-3. Dan Johnson with a couple of home runs in that ball game. And to count 3-1.
Repko's used almost exclusively as a late inning defensive replacement. Came on a little early in this one.
And that's foul straight back over our heads.
A little too much on that one to get in the booth.
And once again, the payoff. There goes Mauer and the sack again. So some more trouble of brewing.
Oh, just missed Repko.
Leadoff single by Mauer. And the walk to Kugel. We'll check the Repko. And here's Kadire. Kadire started off that 3-run six, has just nipped this jersey. Sox looking for a pair. They have turned two tonight. One in the fourth inning, one in the sixth inning. And that's chop foul. So 0-2 the count. Blowing away the ball in 2 strikes with Thome on deck. No activity down in that Sox pen, so it's all surge. Nice block by AJ.
That was a good play, stopping runners from going to second and third. Slider bounces in front of the plate. AJ takes it right off the left bicep. Can't feel too good.
2-2. Hit the bat.
We throw a changeup to him, so he's lost command of the slider and the changeup.
Had him 0-2, and now it is 3-2.
AJ's bouncing all over the place to make sure that the runners stay where they are as Jim Thome. He had a solid single last inning beyond excerpt.
Well, behind the plate this year, AJ has been nothing short of sensation.
Had a good year blocking pitches, I know that. And lately he's been swinging the bat as well as anybody.
That's trouble. Another Minnesota infield hit.
It's been one of those nights when truly they've hit the ball hard, no doubt about it, but they've also had a whole lot going for them as far as hitting in good spots. And just getting some fairly big breaks. Kadire doesn't get much of this, but he does have decent speed. And with a 3-2 count, Omar has to play him back. It takes an abrupt left turn on him. Still able to barehand it, but can't do anything with it.
So here's Thome with the bases loaded and nobody out. Twins trying to blow it open right here. First pitch strike. Pull the string on it. Thome has struck out, walked, and singled. Also scored. And that's low.
You know, the one thing you don't want to miss is high. This man loves the ball down, preferably out away.
And there's a base hit. That's going to score a pair. Runners at the corners is now 8-2.
RBIs 55 and 56. Jim got that one out away. See where it is? Just about thigh high. And took it through the right side.
So Sergio comes in, he walks. Repko gives up an infield single to Kadire, 2-run single by Thome.
Sale went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits. No walks, no strikeouts. Trevor Plouffe is running for Jim Thome, whose night is over.
And here's Young. He's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly that knocked in his 100th RBI of the season.
Tony Pena listening in the pen as Sergio has run into some problems here in the 7th.
Well, last night's game and tonight's game, from the 5th inning on so far, Twins have scored 17 runs. From the 5th inning on.
Usually do you in.
Our bullpen has just had nothing but a lot of trouble. And that will load him up again.
Still nobody out.
And here comes Ives. So he faces 4 hitters, walks 2, gives up 2 hits.
So Tony Pena will come into this one. And we'll step out and be back after these messages. innings. Got the bases loaded, nobody out. Pena 4-2, ERA 5.5, out for the 48th time. And he'll face Danny Valencia, who's 2 for 3.
A single, a double, and a run scored. Battle of bullpens. Battle of bullpens the game has evolved into. As he takes ball 1. Okay, how good your starters are, how good your offense is. Bullpen doesn't get it done, you're going to lose. And count 2-0. Tampa Bay defeated the Yankees 4-3. So that will put them back in first place by a half game. Line drive into left field. And it's a 9-2 ball game as Cuddyer scores.
29 runs driven in on that sacrifice fly.
So that's the first out of the inning. And here is Hardy, who's 2 for 3. An infield single and an RBI. Breaking ball strike. $30,063 paid attendance tonight. We had a scoreless tie through 4. If you're just tuning in the Twins with 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 3 so far here in the 7th. As I mentioned, the 5th inning on so far, they've scored 18 runs in the last 2 games. Another nice block by Pierzynski. Ball gets away. Now they got to play it first. He gone. Runner at second took off. That was Plouffe. And Young started the second.
Well, he thought that Plouffe was going to go to third, which he should have, and Young was hung out to dry. There's nothing he could do as AJ gets it down there in plenty of time.
Now 2 out. He gone. A lot of damage done. We'll be in the 7th inning stretch, and we trail it by 7. Check out our WGN Sports on the U tail of the tape here in the bottom of the 7th inning. But don't stop now. Let's try to give these 30,000 plus fans a finish here. It'll be Beckham, then back to the top of the order with Juan Pierre.
And Matt Guerrero comes in. There you look at the numbers. Dunsing is done for the night. Went 6 innings. Gave up 2 runs on 9 hits. Had a whole lot of difficulties, but at the end of the day, he scrambled out of most of them.
Well, he threw 2 double play balls. And regardless of what you want to say, he got the job done.
4 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Gordon twice has gone out softly to right field. And that's out number 1. Here's Juan. He's 2 for 3. Juan has struck out, he's singled, he's doubled, and he also has picked up a stolen base, giving him 56 on the season. Takes a strike from the former White Sox farmhand, Matt Guerrero. Checks it up, fouls it off, and the count 0-2. Finale here tomorrow night. Mark Buehrle against Carl Pavano. So make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark if you can. The game will be over Comcast Sportsnet. And it's the Tigers over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then we go off on our final road trip of the year. There's a comebacker. Nice snap. 2 down. Oakland for 3 and Anaheim for 3. With a day off in between. In our final homestand of the season, 4 with Boston and 3 with Cleveland. And you can visit the official online shop of the White Sox. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. So get your gear from the official source. Shop at WhiteSox.com. That's up high, 1-1.
Minnesota came into the game tonight 2nd in the league in hitting, just a point behind Texas. 2nd in the league in pitching, behind Oakland, and 1st in the league in defense, just ahead of the Yankees. This is a pretty solid baseball team for these Twins.
2-1. Well, they do a lot of things right, as they have always. Over the years, year in and year out, they're the soundest fundamental playing club in the American League. As that's out of play, they beat themselves fewer times. They play almost every year like we played in 05. We just didn't beat ourselves in 05.
One of the biggest reasons I believe that they do that, if you look up and down their lineup, including their pitching staff, they got a lot of homegrown talent on this team, and they've always been wonderful developers of that talent.
That ball lined into left field. That's going to be a base hit. And it gets by Young. So now Alexi on his way to third. Here's a throw. Safe.
It could very well be a single and a 2-base error. It's a breaking ball that just comes up there rolling. Give him a triple on this.
Well, the ball hit and went behind Young. So I agree with that call. Picks up his second. 3-bagger. Fastball strike to Alex. Outfield around to the right. Alex looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 tonight. That's off the pitcher, the Rosenbag, and it's thrown away. So that'll be a run scoring for us on the base hit and then the error.
Well, I've seen the ball hit the pitcher. I don't think I've ever seen it hit the pitcher and then the Rosenbag. And Hardy almost threw him out at first base. It's a line drive rocket back up the middle. It hits Guerrero, hits off the Rosenbag, and because it slows it down, Hardy has a chance but throws it away. Got to be hitting an air.
I've never seen it hit the Rosenbag after hitting the pitcher.
Nope.
We've seen a lot of things this year that we've never seen before, as it is almost every year. Some years just less than others.
RBI for Alex. It's 83. There is the injured Rosenbag.
And here's Pauly. Pauly 1 for 3. Single back in the second inning. Pick him up, Pauly. Let's don't stop. Tip for a while. I don't know. Off the end of the bat, Hardy had plenty of time. But we pick up one. We'll go to the 8th, trailing by 6. (9-3) Minnesota here in the top of the 8th inning. Top of the order, Span, Punto on deck, hit for Hudson, and Mauer. Close didn't get it, and the count 1-1. That's a chopper foul. Just tuning in, getting home. After 4, no score. And Minnesota with 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. We had 2 in the 6th, then 1 in the 7th. Two balls, 2 strikes. Oakland was leading Kansas City 3-0. Royals loaded the bases for Wilson Betterman, who hit a grand slam. Fouled off the protective screen of our dugout. Cincinnati beat Arizona 7-5. Phillies over the Marlins 10-5. And that ball in the left field. Juan makes the call, has the ball, and that's out number
1. Nick Quinto steps up. He's originally out of the Philadelphia organization. For the Twins in 2004, and he's been there ever since.
Hitting at 253. Takes ball 1 upstairs. 1 homer. He's knocked in 20. Very disappointing first 2 games of this 3-game set. Such high hopes and expectations coming into it. And last night, as we mentioned earlier, we had to lead going to the 7th.
John Roush in the bullpen. He came on to throw bottom of the 9th last night.
Broken bat. And that's out number 2. But then in last night's game, if you missed it, they scored 2 in the 7th and 5 in the 8th. So all 9 of their runs coming from the 5th inning on. As all 9 of their runs tonight have come from the 5th inning on. And here's Mauer, and a reminder, you can stop by the Comcast Fundamentals deck at US Cellular Field for the ultimate game day experience. You can visit the Comcast dugout to see official Sox equipment, take photos next to life-size player cutouts, and listen to updates about the White Sox pitching staff on Xfinity Voice dugout phone. All brought to you by the great folks at Comcast.
Good night tonight for Joe Mauer. 3 for 3 with an intentional walk. He started off the scoring with a 3-run homer.
Outfield equidistant, spread out slightly to the left. And a pretty good pitch to hit right there, and fouled it back, so the count 0-2. Top of the 8th down in Texas. Rangers leading the Tigers 11-7. The 1-2 pitch. He gone. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We got 6 outs to get 6.
today, not for the 53rd time, when he was the closer. He was 21 from 25. Now Matt Capps has taken over that role. Ryan Fuentes, one of the setup men, both acquired as the season moved along, and John Roush did just a great job for these Twins with Joe Nation gone. And Nick Punto has stayed in the game at second base.
So here's Manny. Manny 1 for 2, a walk, grounder to short, hard single to center, and a run scored. And the count 2-0 from the tallest man in Major League history.
It's a perfect inning last night in the ninth.
Checks it up, and the count 3-0. Quentin on deck. There's one. There's two.
Jose Majerus, the left-hander, loosening up in the pen for the Twins.
And there's a foul ball, and a reminder, you can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. Now, the more tickets you order, the more money you save. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. And there's ball 4. A good start here. Let's give him a finish.
We'll give him a pinch runner, perhaps. We'll see.
And that'll bring up Quentin, who's 2 for 3, a single and a 2-run homer. That was his 25th homer, 83rd and 84th RBIs. They are playing way back. Normal position. As that pitch is up high. Nine runs on 13 hits, 1 error for Minnesota. 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors for our Sox. Both teams have stranded 6. As there's a strike and the count 1-1. High pop up left side. Hardy. One down. And it'll bring up AJ. AJ's got his average up to 270, and now Gardenhire comes out of the dugout.
He wants to get a little work for Majerus.
AJ up to 270 with those 3 hits. He's singled in the second, he's singled in the fourth, and he's singled in the sixth. So the big 6'11" right-hander Roush departs, and we'll be back.
Jose Majerus on for the 39th time. And those of you might remember that he tore up his knee at the play here at first base. Good year. 77 ERA.
And the 1-0 pitch to AJ as that's foul, Souvenir left side. AJ, as I mentioned, 3 for 3 tonight. AJ, who surpassed the 1,000 innings mark behind the plate tonight for the 6th consecutive season with our Sox, and that's a franchise record. Oh, you got a cookie right there, and he has hided himself as well he should be.
Harris hangs a slider right over the middle of the plate. Fouls it straight back.
And over in the National League, the Phillies are going to take a 3-game lead over the Atlanta Braves. Boy, they have made up a big deficit in a hurry.
Braves really struggled. Lost a series for just the second time at home this year. Lost it to Washington. There you look at the National League East. I'm trying to hang on for a wild card as well as fighting for the division.
And that's going to be a souvenir. So AJ in that swing mode, which he is almost each and every at bat. Well, he had a couple good pitches in that sequence to hit, and he's hided himself, so that's out number 2. And that'll bring up Omar. Omar's 0 for 3 tonight. Twice he has gone out to the third baseman and once to the shortstop. Takes the strike on the outside corner. Beckham on deck. Just tuning in, the pitchers of record are the starters, Dunsing and Floyd. Dunsing trying to up his mark to 9-2. Floyd, if we don't do anything, he's going to fall to 10-13. Another strike. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So a full count to our 43-year-old phenom. Cubs leading the Cardinals 7-3. Bottom of the 9th inning in St. Louis. Ball lined in right field. It's going to hang up as he fights lights. Good job right there by Repko. Fighting those lights. Makes the catch. That'll retire the side, and we're into the 9th. First pitch strike to Jason Repko, leading off here in the top of the ninth inning. 9-3, bad guys on top. They won last night. 9-3. And that ball is hooked foul. He gone. Right on the outside corner. You'll grab some bench. And on tonight's home improvement from Menards, the Twins' reputation as a fundamentally sound ball club is well known, and the leaders in the fewest American League eras bear that out. Only the Yankees have committed fewer miscues than the Twins. So for all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards. Kadire is 1 for 3. Scored a couple of runs. Two and one to count. And once again, a reminder, Carlos Torres. Tomorrow night finale of this series, Mark Burley against Carl Pavano. Two and two. That's off the end of the bat into left field. One is there, and that's out number 2. And Johnson, 2 two-run homers. As the Rays defeat the Bronx Bombers 4-3.
And they retake first place by a half game.
So here's Floof, Trevor Floof. Making his first plate appearance, winning the run for Tomey back in the 7th.
Here's a U.S. Cellular text poll question: who will win the American League East? Our fans think it's the Rays. 57-43.
He gone. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tony Pena. He is retired. Everybody he's seen. 8 in a row.
Is on Paul Konerko. Sox first baseman is having an MVP caliber season. Konerko is the AL's top 5 in average home runs and RBIs. Paul Konerko, tonight's Toyota moving forward.
All right, boys, let's give them a finish right here. 9-3 Minnesota. Beckham 0 for 3. A couple of pop-ups to right field and a strikeout.
Matt Capps comes on. Successful 12 of 14 times for these Twins. Overall, including the Nationals, Capps has 38 saves this year.
And the 0-1 pitch. Plays off that one upstairs. And fouls that one to near right side. And the Cubs have defeated the Cardinals 7-3 in St. Louis. So the Cardinals now 8 games back of Cincinnati. But 2-2. There's a chopper booted by Punto. So good way to start. Got a base runner.
Second error of the night for the Twins as Punto has that one drop out of the glove.
That'll bring up Juan, who's 2 for 4. Single or double in the stolen base. Texas has defeated the Tigers 11-7. So the Rangers now with Kansas City, who's leading Oakland 6-3, holds on. It would be a double-digit lead, 10 games. First pitch strike to Juan. And that's out of play. The 0-2 pitch. Just off the inside corner. And that's a foul ball. In that Philadelphia 10-5 victory over the Marlins, the good doctor Roy Halladay picked up his 19th victory. 19-10 with a 2.49 ERA.
How do you lose the 10?
A couple of them He should not have lost.
He's some pitcher.
How many pitches he got? Going for him?
Holiday?
No. Him stick that one in the pocket. So another man reaches base here in the bottom of the ninth. Let's give him a finish, boys.
3 hits for Juan tonight. We've seen a few of these little tappers at the left side. And with Valencia back, nothing he can do with this one.
Cub victory over the Cardinals. Zambrano, the winner over Carpenter. Marmol picked up his 31st save. But right here, we still got a lot of base runners we have to reach. As here is Alexei. Alexei 1 for 4, triple and a run scored. Takes first pitch strike. And right to the bag, steps on it, low throw, nice pick by Kadire, and 2 gone. Third double play turn by the Twinkies.
Kind of night it's been overall. Plenty of chances, plenty of base runners. 12 hits, requisite amount of walks, and still 3 runs up there. Taylor-made 5-3.
So here's Alex. Alex 1 for 4, an infield single and an RBI. And there's the strike. Pick him up. There's a shot. One and two the count. And this ball game is over, and we'll be back.